Ooh, welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. All right, cool. It looks so much darker over here than it does over here.
Okay.
So, just seeing how everyone is doing, with all the stuff that's been going on. And, I hope that everyone was safe yesterday for the 4th of July. I stayed home. I wasn't taking any chances. Hello! Uh, is it Afrocentric Beauty?
Hi, Mom.
Ooh. It's live. You don't have to say hi, Mom.
So?
I'm just saying you don't have to say hi, Mom.
I mean, s'mores. You want to?
Yeah, that's what this was for. This wasn't like a threat. He just handed it to me, and it's when the live stream started, so.
I think I need a drink. Hold on.
Okay, go get a drink. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, he's so funny. I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, s'mores. I don't usually eat s'mores. I don't like marshmallows. I know, really crazy, huh? Like, how could I not like marshmallows? I don't. I don't know why. I don't like Fluffernutter either. If you just give me a piece of chocolate, I'll be good. I don't need the rest of it. Yes, I am outside, until there is no more light. So I want to check on everyone and see how everyone's doing. I know that lately around the country, around the world, hello, I cannot understand you. I'm sorry. I don't speak mouthful of food. With everything that's going on in this country, around the world, for mental health purposes, how is everyone doing with this? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wished for for a good-looking child, and I got one. I don't think it was really about wishing for it. It was more about who was his father, and his father looks just like him. So he doesn't look like me that much. He looks more like him. Oh, is that him in the window? Somebody was walking in there. I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
Right there.
Whoa, Casey, easy. Guys, you went flying.
I did not mean to do that.
That's okay. So for me personally, with everything that's going on, it doesn't make me feel better. I see a lot of people who are really, really angry, and Casey, stop it!
I don't need to. I want my honey.
Jeez, you don't need to flip the whole table
I'm
just to
trying to.
Well, stop it!
Stop.
Whatever you're
How
doing.
am I supposed to grab something if I can't reach?
Help.
You try to help her? I'll make sure no one will help you next time.
What are you talking about? He does not know what he's talking about.
I do too.
Stop yelling in my ear. Oh my God.
Have a chocolate.
No, thank you. I'm trying to talk here, Casey.
I'm sorry.
Just, you don't need to slam down onto the table
You
to
mean
grab.
like-
Do it, and it will be the end of you.
Help!
That's how you parent somebody. You tell them no. You say no. Don't do that. Anyway, on the mental health front, it's really hard for me. Like, I watch the news and I see so many people who are struggling. And please be gentle. And it makes me sad for a lot of people. But then there are other people who are, it's just my opinion, I am embarrassed by their behavior, and I'm not even a part of it. Like, I'm staying home, just, trying to be safe. And some of the things that I've seen, I don't agree with. And I don't think it's right. I'm not going to say specifically, like who or what. I think you guys can, if you watch the news, then I think you can put the clues together. There are some things that are okay, and then there are some things that aren't okay. Sorry, he just burned his marshmallow. No, thank you. It was still funny. And I wish people, like, how I look at the world, I don't look at people and see the color of their skin. I just see people. And I wish that more people around the world were like that. Like,
be careful what you wish for. You just might get it.
For people to be happier, gosh, I hope so. I hope people get happier, because a lot of people are not happy right now, Casey.
You do realize that every wish comes with a price, right?
Okay, if you guys don't have kids, here's a fair warning in advance. When you have kids, they interrupt you all the time. All the time. It is a lifelong endeavor. Just because they turn 18 he's not 18, but just because your children turn 18 does not mean you stop being their parent, okay? Oh my gosh. This is going to be a weird live stream.
A weird live stream, you say?
Yeah, because I'm trying to talk. And Henry, don't you start. Don't you start. Henry, don't start.
Henry, hey.
Oh my God. I just wanted to say hi and just express my feelings. That's all I
now
wanted.
You can say goodbye.
Henry. Can you get Nana?
Alright, yeah, I'll get her.
Stop. Okay. What is going on with my dog is the neighbors have a dog. And if the neighbor makes noise, if the dog next door makes noise, then he wants to make noise because he wants to play with the dog. And that's just not going to happen. So, he needs to learn how to not bark at every single thing. It's really annoying. We're working with him so much. To try to keep him more calm and to be able to deal with these types of situations without getting so excited that sometimes he can't even breathe. When a dog, they just overexert themselves. They're like, like that. Like, he gets like that. And we're trying so hard. Anyway, I hope that there are ways that we as a country can work through the issues, whatever issues those are. There's many, many issues. So everyone can benefit as much as they can, and that, people are happy. Yeah, I was sprinkling earlier. I'm not worried. It'll just be easier to put the fire out, if it rains.
Sprinkle the fire out.
I'm sorry, guys. I keep getting interrupted. This is what happens when you're not alone and you try to make a video of some kind.
No, I am not in every video.
Oh my God. Help me. Anyway. So, but that comes with compromise. And with that being said, nobody wants to compromise. And in order to come to terms, to bring people together, each viewpoint has to compromise on something. It can't just be this or nothing else. It doesn't work that way. Look at all the empires in history that have fallen because, well, They weren't willing to compromise. They weren't willing to hear what people had to say. They weren't willing to let go just a little bit of that power so other people could have a little bit of power. You know, whether that is working or
Careful.
going to school or whatever the situation is, you know. I was obviously 2,000 years ago, however many years ago people were around, you know, things were different back then. There was a lot of stuff that went on that wasn't right. But somehow in the countries that have been sustained, places around the world, a lot of it is due to people compromising and understanding that there are rules and laws for a reason, that there is a structure set up that we all agree upon so everyone can feel safe, everyone can be a part of the community of their town, of whatever, their state, their country, whatever it is. And right now, I don't see that happening. I see people cowering. I see people running away. Do you think you can go someplace else, please?
I'm bored.
Can you go someplace else, please? Can you go away? I'm trying to do this and you're distracting me.
I have s'mores, but all right.
Just go eat that somewhere else.
I'm gonna make another one.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't like being interrupted when I'm trying to say something because then I forget what I'm saying and I don't know if I've made the point I wanted to make. But basically, I have been saying for a while now that everyone in this world, on whatever spectrum of humanity you are on, everyone matters. I know people say if you say all lives matter, that's racist. Okay, sure. No, that's not racism. That includes every person on this earth. It is inclusive. It's not exclusive to say everyone matters. And I know a lot of people have gotten a lot of crap for saying that, but I've been saying that long before all this chaos has been going on. I've been saying everyone matters, all lives matter, and that if we want to live in some sort of a way that, you know, people can be safe, people can be free, people can voice their opinions without worried about, you know, someone shooting them or something because they disagree. That's the world like when I was growing up, okay? Going to college wasn't about having a safe space. It wasn't about blocking people from giving speeches. It wasn't that kind of, that's not how I grew up. And when I was in college, thank goodness it wasn't like that, because I would not want to go to college now. Absolutely not. I don't think colleges at this point right now are suited to actually educate anyone. I mean, just look at how colleges are right now. It's a scary place to be. I wouldn't want to be there. And what has happened is there is, like I saw this clip on YouTube where a black woman stood up and said, y'all, there are too many white people in here and I am feeling really, really uncomfortable, so you gotta go. How is that not racist? Seriously, tell me how that is not racist, because that is racist. And I've heard people say, if you're black, you can't be racist. Are you kidding? Racism means you dislike someone because of their race. So, yeah, like, I wouldn't advise anyone to go to college right now. Maybe online or something, I don't know. But to be a college student right now, I wouldn't want to do it. Nope. I'm good. Nope. Not gonna happen. It's okay. I don't need to be in college. I haven't finished my degree, and maybe someday I will, but I will never finish my degree as long as college campuses are the way that they are right now. And that's just my opinion from me. That's just me. When I think of college, I think of a place where many people of many different backgrounds, many education levels, whatever, come together and express their opinions and then have a discussion about it. It doesn't mean, oh, you think that? Well, that means you're racist, or you think that, well, that means you're sexist, or you think that, well, we're going to ban speech and you can't say this and you can't say that. Yeah. No, that's not something I want to be a part of. I believe in the First Amendment. You have the right to free speech. Now, I do think it's not very nice to say mean things to people. Just because you have the freedom to say something doesn't make it right to say. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you call someone a name, if you punch them in the face, if whatever it is that you do, if you do that, I don't really think that that's very nice. I don't think that that's not how a civilized adult person, in my opinion, should act. It's embarrassing to me. Like, I would like, I don't know any of these people. I'm just gonna go over here, do my thing. They can do their thing, and that's that. Like, I don't know. I don't understand why. I just don't understand why people think violence is the way to solve problems. It's never worked in history, period. If you actually, look into history, it doesn't work. What did you say? When you smart, they take you out. You mean like physically? Like they kick you out of school, or they like try to silence you, or something else? Um, Man, I would hate to live in a place where you say something and someone disagrees with you and then they decide you don't need to live anymore. That's a very scary world. I wouldn't want to live in a place like that. But with all that's going on, mental health wise, it upsets me. It makes me very anxious. It makes me fearful for what the future is going to bring. Because I can't, right now, I am scared for a lot of people out there, especially in those particular cities where things are out of control. I don't understand how our leaders, our cops, people who are supposed to keep everybody safe, not just certain people safe, they're just like, yeah, do what you want. We're just going to leave you alone. Like, excuse me? No, you need to tell them that what they're doing is wrong. There are rules and laws for a reason, and they should be held accountable for what crimes they have committed, like federal crimes. I know that they've gone in and they've done some things, but all I still like I don't even have to watch the internet. I can feel all the anger just in the atmosphere, just in the air, all around. I can just feel it. And I don't want to live in a world like this. I don't want to live in a world where people are going to burn buildings down, stop EMTs from getting to people who need help, you know, and defund the police. Look, I know there's some bad police out there. That is not even a question. But there are a lot of good police people out there who actually want to make a difference. They actually want to help people. They don't want to have the police against the townspeople. You know what I mean? um, but unfortunately, there's been a lot of police over many, many decades who have done horrible, horrible things to people. And now it's really hard to see the police as a force that is good. Especially with my interactions with the police, they have believed a lot of lies. Every time they see me drive, and the only reason I know this is because my mother noticed it. When I go by the police, I don't even give them the time of day, but they stare back at me a lot. And why are they staring at me? Like, what's their issue? Is it because they've lied? Oh, speaking of police and lies, I don't remember if I said this in the video about the update on the car accident claim, but I found out that the officer who was supposed to write up an incident report, I think it's called, not a full report, but just basically saying there was a car accident on this day at this time type of information. He didn't do that, and he's supposed to by law. So they lied to my face. I know they were lying about the insurance when they said, yeah, he hit you, so if you file a claim, my insurance will go up, they said. My insurance never went up. But he said by law he has to write whatever it was called, and he never did that. And I'm just like, are you serious? Those are the kind of cops that go around my town. They lie a lot. Oh, it's getting dark out. I just noticed. I'm like, why does my face look weird? I'm sorry for that light right there. It's just because of the string of lights. So I got light going through me. So it's really hard for me to trust the police because I have had many negative interactions with them. And there's only been one police officer that I dealt with. This was when my son was younger and before he went to that special school that he went to and learned a lot of coping skills and stuff. This officer was a female, and her approach to him wasn't, you need to come out of there, blah, blah, blah. You know, like men, police officers tend to be, they're very, you know. She was not like that. She went in and she got down on her, because he was hiding behind the couch. She got down on her knees and she talked to him on his level. She didn't insult him. She didn't say, you know, you have to come. She just said, why don't you tell me what's going on? And he came out because she was nice to him and showed compassion for him and empathized with his situation. Whereas other police officers, both male and female, don't have never treated him with respect and dignity. He technically has a disability. He has a disability, but they don't have training to deal with anyone who has any kind of disability, maybe physical, but other than that, I mean, I don't even know if they have training on that. I mean, I know they know how to use their tasers and guns. I know that. But as far as being truthful, I'm sorry. I think most police officers, I think when they go into training, whether it's state police or local police or whatever, I think they're like, okay, guys, we need to weed out the ones who are narcissistic pieces of crap, and those ones are going to be our officers. We'll weed in a few nice ones here and there, but I feel like, I mean, their attitudes are such that you don't feel safe, especially when you are a victim and the police don't believe you. That's a problem. It is such a problem. Look, more light. I have a candle. I'm like, how can I make it brighter? Is this okay? I'm just gonna like hold this. If it's too much, just let me know. Because it is a candle, so it'll probably get hot. It is hot. So would I like to see the police be obliterated altogether? I mean, abolished, not obliterated, abolished, sorry. No, I think we still need police because there are things that happen where you need police to help. But I also think that there's a lot of training that they need. I think they need a lot of training dealing with anyone who has any kind of mental or behavioral problem. Like, there should be procedures for that. Like, you don't get mad at them because they're having an episode. You know, that's one of them things. The way that they talk to them, the way that they handle the situation altogether. I think that they need serious training in that. I think that some of these police officers definitely need to go to Violence No More. Yes, I do. Do I think all police officers are like this? No, I do not. But most of the ones I've ever met are. They're pieces of crap. And I just wish that things were better in that department. I wish I could trust police, but I don't. They haven't given me any reason to trust them. They've actually given me every reason to be afraid that they will come after me and make up lies. You know, like, I think I wrote it on my Facebook. Several months ago, I was driving home, and this police officer who had just finished pulling someone over decided to ride my butt. Now, how close were they? I couldn't see their lights. That's how close they were to me. And I wrote on my Facebook that and I did get a dash cam. It's a dual dash cam, but I haven't had the chance to have the back one put in because that one has to go in a certain way because of what I bought, and it's going to take a while to put it in. But I do have at least the front dash cam. And I said in that post something along the lines of, anytime they do anything that I think is wrong, I'm going to post about it and I'm going to make a video about it. So ever since I wrote that post, they haven't really bothered me, but they stare at me. Interesting, huh? You think that they follow my stuff? I think so. I think they follow it. Maybe they could learn something from it, you know, like stop being douchebags. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just, it makes me upset because I understand why so many people do not trust the police. But I also know that we need a system in place where, because there are certain situations you don't want just anyone walking into. You want somebody who's trained in situations like that, because you have to keep your cool. You cannot lose it. And if you just send in, like, I know they want to, I don't know exactly how they want to change public safety, but I heard like sending social workers in and things like that. Yeah, social workers can go into situations, but here's the thing. If there's any reason that that social worker feels unsafe, like they might have a gun or they might be violent, they always call the police to go with them. So I don't know. It's a very hard thing to think about, and I don't want to be angry about it. I don't want to have to look over my shoulder. I don't want to feel like I'm a target. Well, my son has a social worker who is his case manager, and she's actually really awesome. And his previous 2 social workers were awesome as well. I have heard of a lot of social workers, especially because people record everything now online, like social workers coming to your house and lying about stuff, yeah. But you also have to understand, it's not being a social worker that's bad. It's the person who's doing the job, their mental state, how they view the world, how they see you. That's what the problem is. And I just want to say, I know it was a while ago, but do you remember that when like the riots and stuff started, there was this woman who found out her son was a part of it, like looting and stuff. And she went downtown and got her son and said, "You get in the car." And, she was like, "I'm not having this." In my opinion, I think more parents should do that with their kids who are not peacefully protesting. There's peaceful protesting, and then there's riots. There's a big difference. Social workers always on vacation. My social worker isn't always on vacation. Not my social worker, my son's social worker. And also his counselor is a social worker. And he's really, really nice. Like, there are some good people out there. You just have to find them. And a lot of times I find them by chance, honestly. It's not always easy to find someone who understands anyone who has a mental or behavioral issue, or even a learning issue. Because you have to, in order to be a social worker, you have to care about other people. That's the thing about social work. You want to help other people. So if that's not your reason for being a social worker, please don't be one. It's like being a nurse. You have to genuinely want to care for people. You have to have compassion. Like, you can't be an angel of death, okay? Have you seen those shows where people become nurses and doctors and they kill people out of mercy? Like, I don't get it. Those people do not need to be in healthcare. They just don't, okay? And perhaps there should be more of a mental health screening for certain jobs, especially for cops. I know that they go through a psychological test, but I think the test is given by fellow officer people, or at least people who work in that business but are not necessarily cops, like the administrative part, administration. I don't know how that works exactly, but they should definitely have a serious mental check before they can ever become an officer of any level, you know, but checked by people who aren't just gonna be like, oh yeah, we'll just give him or her this mark just to get them in, you know, because they're our buddies and all that. Cops, if you... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me go back. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed like half of what everyone was saying. I'm so sorry. Okay. Mental health being ignored is the real problem. Yeah. It's not. People think it's like this mythical creature or something, you know, like, no, it's very real. You're right. It is all in the intentions. Cops, if... It's all in the intentions. Cops, if you scream to be a psychopath, you're in. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, they're like, yeah, this person's a total psychopath, so they'll be totally savage and we'll get so many arrests. Did you know that... and I found this out because it was an interview of some kind. There was this man who wanted to be a cop, and he became a cop. And then he was being told, along with his fellow officers, that there's a quota that officers have to fill. You have to get so many arrests, you have to pull over so many people and issue so many tickets with certain amounts of prices on them, or if you don't do that, you can be fired. So a lot of cops don't want to lose their jobs, so they do it. They'll pull you over even if you've done nothing wrong and give you a ticket, even if you didn't do anything to deserve a ticket, or a summons to court, or whatever it is. And it's unfortunate because I'm thinking they have quotas to fill, and this guy, I commend him. He quit. He said, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to look for trouble where there isn't any, just to save my own ass in my job. And he quit. And I commend him for that, you know, because he knew what was happening was wrong and he did not want to be a part of it, you know. And unfortunately for him, and this was years ago, I don't know where he is today in terms of a job. He had tried to apply at other stations in his state, and because he quit for the reason he quit, his boss blackballed him. So he had, at that point, I don't remember if he actually had a different job in mind, if he actually had a different job, but he said something about having to look in other areas in a different direction to figure out what he was going to do, because he needed money to live, obviously. And he needed to find a place where they weren't going to judge him because he has morals, you know? So there are good police out there. There's a lot of bad police out there, but there are good police workers out there. They are just so hard to find. And it really sucks. It really sucks, you know? And, you know, I'm sitting here, a citizen of the United States of America, and I know that there are countries out there where if I were doing this would not happen. I would not be allowed to make this video. I would not even be allowed to speak. There are still countries out there where women, they have to cover up, they can't speak, they just do what they're told. And that really makes me happy. You know, not that is happy. It makes me happy knowing that I don't live in a country like that, because that must be so scary. I am grateful to be a free citizen of the United States of America. And I hope that people don't keep dying from what's going on. There has been, from what I have A lot of it, I think I get from YouTube. I do get it from the news as well, but I know that there have been several children who have been innocent bystanders who have been shot and killed because someone didn't teach their kid the word no. Like that is something that I do see. I'm just going to say it. I see a lot of people acting like 2-year-olds. And instead of saying, no, 2-year-olds, that's not going to happen. You're not going to do whatever you want. That's not how things work. People are like, yeah, do whatever you want. Burn stuff down, graffiti everything, take over stuff. Hold on to your AK-47s. Like, what is wrong with our leaders where they're like, yeah, let's let this happen? I've been holding on to a lot of how I feel about this, and that's why it seems like I'm very, very stressed. Oh, sorry, I gotta tap this a sec. Okay, did it go away? Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. Sorry about that. Something popped up on my phone. I tried to get rid of it, and then it popped up like full screen. I'm like, no. So yeah, it stresses me out a lot, and I have a lot of, opinions about it, and I mean, everyone has an opinion, and everyone has a right to their opinion. But I don't think people need to be, shooting people over difference of opinion. I would think that it would be great to hear other people's opinions, to hear where they're coming from, to understand. It doesn't mean you have to like it, doesn't mean you have to agree, but it certainly doesn't mean you hurt them because they have a brain and they think on their own. I don't think so. That's just ridiculous to me. Oh my God, I have so much inside. Like, it just upsets me because I feel like like I said at the beginning, I just see people, like, I don't care what color your skin is. That's like something determined by DNA. I mean, you can't really do anything about that. I mean, you can, but it's not healthy. So from what I've seen, a lot of the things that I've seen, I've seen, to me, a lot of people who are saying things are racist, I find them to be the most racist people. Because if you listen to what they say and you watch what they do, they act and talk just like a racist. So how is that going to stop racism if you keep perpetuating racism? I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make sense in my brain at all. I can't get my head around it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just frustrated with people's actions. I'm not saying people shouldn't protest. Protesting we have a right to protest, but it has to be a peaceful protest. And also, these people, I don't know if they ever went to a history class in their life. I mean, do you remember learning about Martin Luther King and Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X and Rosa Parks and all these people and the things that they did so people could have more freedom? None of these people, I mean, Malcolm X was, before he went to prison, he was the bad guy, but then he learned his lesson. And then what he tried to teach people after that was love, kindness, companionship, being compassionate toward others, not being violent in any sort of way. Even the I Have a Dream speech, I don't think they've actually read it or heard it. Yes, it's long, but he doesn't say, go burn down buildings. He doesn't say police, he doesn't say any of that. Oh my God. If he were alive today, he would be disgusted. Seriously, he would be. This is not what he had in mind. This is what Manson had in mind. Remember the race war he wanted? Helter Skelter? Do you remember that? Yeah. I think he got what he wanted. Yeah, he died before it happened, but he's got it now. So, I mean, what the F? Seriously. I even saw on the news that Martin Luther King's family said that all the violence that's going on and everything was exactly what he preached against. And when they marched, people were knocking them down, hitting them, throwing things at them. I think they even used hoses from like fire trucks and hosed them down or whatever it was that they did. And you know what they did? They stood up, kept their mouths shut, and kept walking because they were not going to lie down and take it. But what did they not do? They didn't hurt people. They didn't cause chaos. They didn't start riots. They didn't burn stuff down. They didn't do any of that. You know? I mean, I don't think these people have ever learned about these people at all, you know? And I am so upset with the statue stuff. Like, why would you take down or try to take down or try to deface or whatever a statue of the president who single-handedly abolished slavery? Is it because black people worked for him that he paid? You know, he also had white people working for him that he paid too. They weren't slaves. They were paid to do a service, and they were treated well. He was not racist one bit. But for some reason, people think he's a racist. I mean, is there something in the water or something? Like, are they putting lead in the water somewhere and people are just going nuts? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But it just frustrates me so much. And I wish that this stuff wasn't happening, you know? It's bad enough that we're dealing with this pandemic. We don't need all this other stuff too, you know? And it's just so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me. Because I'll tell you, if my son, if I ever see him out rioting, whatever, I will find out where he is and I'll do exactly what that mother did. Because there's no way I'm going to let him act like that. That is not okay. And I'm not saying the people who are peacefully protesting. I'm talking about people who are actually causing damage to buildings, shooting people. Though that's what I'm talking about, that kind of behavior. That is scary because kids are dying, you know? Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. I can hear my son talking inside. That window has a screen in it, so I can hear him talking. I don't know what he's saying, but I can hear him. Okay, so it makes me very stressed. It makes me afraid to go out in the world. Luckily, I live in an area that this kind of stuff doesn't typically happen. I don't live in a big city. Um, I want to say it's more an urban area. um, but I live very close to, you could drive and, get lost in the middle of nowhere type of thing. So it can be very busy sometimes, but it's a small town. I live in a small town. But where the city is, there have been protests. There's been a couple cities where there have been protests. They're not big major metropolitan cities, but they're still cities nonetheless. And from what I've heard, it's been peaceful. I have no problems with people protesting. I just have problems with people destroying our country. We all have to live here. And I feel like if people keep doing what they're doing, there's going to be like an uprising of other people who will come out in droves and oppose what's happening. People are starting to speak out, and I think that's wonderful. People are speaking out because, well, they have to. But I don't care if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, if you're independent, if you're nothing. I don't care. What I care about is that whatever is agreed upon, it benefits as many people as possible. There's always going to be people who don't fit in or whatever, but that's how life is. You can't accommodate every single person in the world with one thing. We're all different, but you have to do it the majority. We live in a country where a majority rules, but you have to get the majority by voting, not by doing what you're doing. I really, seriously, your mamas, your daddies, whoever raised you needs to go get you and bring your asses home and teach you a few things. Seriously. Like, first off, the word no. I don't know why people have such a hard time telling their children no. I want ice cream. No. But I want an ice cream. I said no. And you keep saying no, and you don't give them the ice cream no matter what they do. If you don't teach people boundaries when they're kids, they don't have any boundaries as adults. Case in point, what's going on right now. No boundaries. And that's scary. I heard something go like pop. I don't know what that was. But hold on a second. I'm going to take you guys with me for a minute. I have a fire going, and I just got to put some more wood on it. I'm sorry if it's dark. Woo! Oh, sorry about that. All right, let's see. There we go. I don't know if I can actually flip this and because I don't want to hit the flip and then it stops. So I'm sorry if it's dark, but I'm just putting some more wood on the fire. We didn't have one yesterday, mostly because I wasn't feeling well. There we go. Okay. Here we go. It'll catch on. All right. Have a seat. Sit down. All right. Sorry that it got dark like that, but I had to put some more wood on the fire. It's really great because right across the street, somebody puts out firewood, and in this entire town, it's the cheapest, and you get more for less money. So it's interesting because some places I've seen, you can get a bundle of wood, one bundle of wood for $10. I can get 3 bundles of wood for $10 across the street. So, and most of the places that sell wood are like that. It's like a small amount of wood for a big price. And no, thank you. I don't want that. So I feel lucky in that sense, you know, when something is so convenient. And it helps me out because I love to have fires. I know I'm switching gears here. I tend to do that. I'm sorry. It's the bipolar going on. Ooh, pop. I forgot what I was saying. My mind is, I was talking about something being, okay, that's what I was talking about. All right. So, I don't remember if I've ever said this or not. But when my mother was pregnant with me, she was 4 months pregnant with me, and my father died, and he died in a fire. They lived in the city in an apartment, and I don't know, they couldn't find how it happened, but the apartment caught on fire. And luckily, my mother was at her mother's house at the time. Not lucky that this happened, but that she wasn't in it too, because I wouldn't be here. My son wouldn't be here. And I guess in a way, having a fire is how I feel close to him, I guess, in some way. I never got to meet him ever because he was dead before I was born. So, I know it sounds weird, but, ooh, it's going now. I know it sounds weird, but it's like that's my connection to him. I don't have fires all the time, but when I do, I feel they make me feel calm. They make me feel, like it kind of puts you in a trance and a little bit. You know, I keep staring at the fire. I'm sorry. See what I mean? I'm staring at it. And I guess that's just my connection to him. I won't get to meet him until I pass on. So for now, this is what I got. And it's okay, you know? But I have to be careful sometimes, because he died in April, and back in April, I decided to start burning, and I had this window open, and it happened to be a bit of a windy day, and the wood was a little wet. And so when wood is wet, it has a different smell to it. And my mother smelt it, and it triggered her from when he died. And she yelled at me. Oh my God. She was very angry. And I didn't say anything. I just let her yell. And then later that day, when I gave her hours of space, I said, you know, I wasn't trying to upset you. I was just burning some wood. And, you know, she apologized, and then she told me she just got triggered because that smell, it reminded her of when she got the call, and she went down, drove to the apartment, and it was still burning, and it was wet wood, and that smell, so it triggered her. And she apologized, you know, and I said, I didn't take it personally. That's life. Sometimes we get triggered, and it's okay, but it's good to know what triggers you and why, you know. And I said, it's okay that you're upset that he died. You know, I know, I know it's been, well, I am 34. He died in April. I was born in August. So it's been that long. And you can still get triggered by stuff that happens many, many years ago in your life, especially if it was traumatizing. So I told her if I burn the wood and that smell happens, I said, I will put it out for you. I said, I don't have any problems doing that. You just have to let me know because I don't want to trigger you. And she is self-aware enough. Sorry, I thought I heard something. She's self-aware enough that she said, no, you shouldn't have to stop burning because I was triggered. She said, I have to learn that when I'm triggered, I have to deal with those emotions, let them happen, and then move on, best way she can. So that's really good insight, when you know you're being triggered. To have that kind of insight is really good. Not everyone has that kind of insight. So it's really hard when you lack the insight to move forward, because you can't move forward without acknowledging what is really bothering you, what's triggering you, what's the root of it, and then deal with it. And the only way to deal with it is to feel everything, to go through that and make it to the other side. You can't jump over it, you can't crawl under it. It's like that Rick Charette song. Can't go around it, I got to go through it. But instead of it being mud, it's, trauma. So, Rick Charette, oh my God, I loved him when I was a kid. Oh man, he actually plays locally around here sometimes, and I took my son once to see him, but he was not paying attention at all. Even though you could get up on the stage and dance and everything, he was like, I'm hungry. I want to go that way instead. So I stayed and watched Rick Charette. And he went with my mom to get food. So yeah, I guess what it really was is I wanted to see Rick Charette. I was hoping my son would like it, but no. That's okay. We have different personalities, we have different likes and tastes, and that was more because when I was a kid, a few times we went on a field trip to see Rick Charette. So yeah, it was really, really cool. When I thought it was cool when I was a kid, and seeing him as an adult, it just brought all that back, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is awesome. But my son, on the other hand, yeah, he wanted pizza. That's what he wanted. He didn't care about the music, dancing. He wanted pizza. So yeah, that's what he had for dinner. Oh gosh. It's pretty foggy outside tonight, and it kind of reminds me of like a horror movie. You're just sitting outside, talking about stuff. You know how those cheesy horror movies go. I mean, there's certain people who do certain things in a horror movie, and you're like, oh no, she's next. Or he's first, or that's the final girl. They have a final girl, but why can't they have a final guy? I mean, can't men survive a psychopathic killer too? I mean, I'm just saying, does it always have to be the girl? Can it be the guy too? Or maybe both of them, like, what was that movie? oh my God, I can't remember the name of the movie. It's it's the one, it's a remake where they go to this house. I think the guy's name, the character's name is Stephen Price, I want to say. And there's like this evil thing and it like eats up everybody. And then at the very end, there are two people who survive, a woman and a guy. I forgot the name of the house. House on Haunted Hill or something like that. I think that's what it was called. It had the guy that played in Pirates of the Caribbean, not Johnny Depp, but the other guy. I forgot his name. Jeffrey Rush. Is that his name? Yeah, I think he played in that movie. Yeah, he played the sea captain. I forgot his name. Oh my God. Right then, my memory's crapo. Okay, so the other day, I made a video. I had the EEG on my head, and I'm sure everyone could see that I was very bloated or swollen. I'm not sure if it's bloat or swelling. I think it's swelling. I've been having a lot of issues with my back, and I'm gonna make a video about it anyway, but I'm just gonna say it here too. I think I need another spinal injection, and I have been bloating up because something is pinched and it's not allowing the flow. And when I played back the video, I'm like, oh my God, look how bloated I am, because I had started like losing weight and like, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, like there's so much bloat in my neck and my face and my shoulders, in my legs, in my hips, there's a lot of swelling going on. So I feel, I'm upset that this is happening because I really want to lose weight, and hopefully in a couple years, be down to a healthier weight, and maybe that will help my back. But it's really hard to do that if you start doing that and then you bloat up because you have a spinal problem that's causing things to back up and stuff like that. So it's just, it's frustrating. It really is. And I saw myself, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, no way. And like, you can see it in my face. I am so puffy. Like, this is bloat. No, it's swelling. This is swelling. I'm all swollen everywhere. It's annoying because it doesn't matter what I do until I get that injection and it does its thing. Doesn't matter how I eat, how much I exercise, I will gain weight. And that's what got me, is I gained weight. Not because of food, but because of being swollen. Because my mother said that, she could see it and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to step on the scale because I've been drinking water. I've been eating salads and doing my thing. I've been doing it. I've gained 10 pounds, almost 15 pounds back because of swelling. And it just makes me so upset because I feel like I've just wasted my time, But I'm not wasting my time in a sense, because if I continue to eat healthy, it will just be better for everything to go back to normal once I hopefully get that injection sooner than later. But unfortunately, before you have an injection, you have to have an MRI. So, I hate MRIs. I really, really do. I have to go in feet first. if you don't know that, if you're claustrophobic, if you're scared of going into an MRI, tell them you want to go feet first. You can also ask, I don't know if everyone does it, but you can also ask for a local anesthetic. Sometimes they do that. Not always, but sometimes they do. So it's okay. It's good to ask. And if not, if they don't have anything, find someone who has anti-anxiety pills or something. Or drink chamomile tea. Chamomile tea is pretty good at calming nerves. There's a lot of herbs out there that can help calm the nerves. I was just joking about finding somebody with medication. If you have the medication yourself, don't take somebody else's medication. I was just joking. But there are things you can do to help do that. Like if you make sure that before you even get there, you prepare yourself for what's going to happen. You do your breathing exercises to help bring it down. You're probably still going to feel some anxiety, but here's what I do. When I go in, I still don't like going in feet first. I just don't like being in an insulated tube like that. It scares me. What I do is I just close my eyes. That's what I do. I close my eyes for the entire thing. That way, I don't see what I'm in. I can hear the noise and whatnot, but I don't see it. And it helps me through the MRI. Because if you've ever had an MRI, you know it's nothing like what they show on TV. It isn't this huge opening. It's a small opening. The machine is big, but what you fit into is not so big. And yeah. So if you ever have an MRI and you're scared to go in head first, you can go in feet first. You can have some chamomile tea or ask for them to give you something to help calm your nerves. Now, it depends on what the MRI is for. Sometimes they can't give you something for a medical type reason. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. But I do know that there are some situations you can't have that. Especially if they inject you with something. Sometimes they inject you with dye and whatever, and they put stuff, like, it really depends on what you're going for and what your issues are. Now, if you have to have your head scanned, and you have to do it in an MRI, I'm really not sure if there's an alternative. I don't know if they can do if they can. Sorry, I was just making sure that it went pop. I just didn't want it to hit anything. I would just ask the doctor, ask whoever, just say, look, I have this issue, and if you have to do this to my head, I need a compromise because I'm petrified of small spaces, and if I go into that small space, I'm gonna have a panic attack, and then you won't be able to do the MRI, and it'll be a waste of both of our time. So talk to the doctors before you have the MRI. That way you know what to expect and you know what you can and cannot do. So yeah, hopefully that helps anyone who needs to have an MRI. When I was a kid, oh my God, it was so weird. I had to have an MRI for something. It was about my stomach. I don't remember exactly, but he did that, and then he did something. What's it called? Oh my God, my brain. When they put the thing over your belly and then you can see it on a monitor. I know it has a name. I cannot think of it right now. They usually do it when, like, you're pregnant, whatever that is called, sonogram, whatever. Well, he did that on my stomach. And I'm looking and I'm like, what is in my stomach? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, why are there little people in my stomach? And he and my mom laughed. I can laugh now, but at the time I'm like, what is so funny? I'm like, seriously, look, there's little stick figures in my stomach. because whatever the angle, I don't know. It literally looked like there were these little stick figures just lined up all across my stomach. And he said, I know that it seems like it's little people in your stomach, but it's not people. It's just the way your stomach looks. I'm like, okay. But seriously, can you imagine going, why are there little stick figures in my stomach? I was a kid, so. But I still have that image in my head. I do. I swear there were people living in my stomach. I swear to God. I don't know. It's like, how, like, he even acknowledged that it looked like there were little stick figures. But they weren't. And I'm like, are you sure? And they just kept laughing. I can laugh at it now. It sounds really funny. But, uh-oh. I think it's starting to rain. Uh-oh. That's okay. Rain never hurt anybody. Might hurt my electronics, but other than that, I'm not too worried. Uh-oh. This is on my thing. Uh-oh. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my shawl. It's underneath this for some reason. Okay, well, it is actually starting to rain, so I am going to have to stop this because I have to take care of all this stuff. But I just wanted to come on and say hi. I haven't done a live stream in I don't know how long, and I want to know how everyone's doing, you know, and if you're sane right now, if you're on the verge, I mean, if you're okay, you know, I just want to make sure everyone is doing okay because there's a lot of stuff happening right now. There's a lot of factors going on, and a lot of people are affected in many different ways. And I just want to let you guys know that I care about you and I love you very, very much. And I hope that you have a good night. So thank you for watching. I love you guys. Please, please take care of yourselves and be safe out there. And just try to spread love if you can. That's what this world needs, is a lot of love. All right. Bye, guys.